Hi there everybody, it's Verity here from inkybutterfly.wordpress.com. Thank you for joining me today. Don't usually post on a Saturday, but we're participating in a little mini blog hop. That's myself and 3 of my crafty friends. So we do a project share every week on a Thursday over on our blogs, and we decided that we'd do a monthly blog hop as well, and this video supports that blog hop. So what I'd like you all to do is give this video a thumbs up and a subscribe, and I'd also like you to click down below into the description bar to my blog post, and use that blog post to go and visit all the other crafters in the hop. Okay. Fireworks are going off like crazy, I'm afraid, this evening, so if you can hear those in the background, I do apologise. Okay, so the theme's Christmas, so I've opted to use the Snowflake Wishes stamp set. Really love this stamp set, real favourite of mine. I really like Snowflake because they just, their winter theme without necessarily being Christmas and all that kind of stuff, so I do like snowflakes. I think they're just really, really pretty. And my other favourite thing in the world are these dies. I really love these. These are the Stitched So Sweetly dies. They coordinate with the So Sentimental stamp set, but we're just using these today for that stamped and stacked sentiment. Okay, really, really like those. And we're using one of my favourite techniques, which is the emboss resist technique. So hopefully you can see that those snowflakes are shiny where they've been heat embossed. Okay, the colours we've used are Pacific Point, that's that colour for the sentiment, and it is actually the darker colour in the background too, and the other colour I've used there is Pool Party to blend out that background. Okay, but we're going to mix up the colours for the video. We're going to use Highland Heather and Blushing Bride to do our ink blending today. Okay, so I've already prepped a white card base. You could use a coloured card base if you want. I decided to keep it simple and use just a white one. So we need to do all our stamping first on this background, so that we can get that heat embossed. So I'm just running over that with the embossed buddy. So those are widely available. And I'm going to use the clear Versamark ink pad, which is a sticky ink, for want of a better word. It's a slow drying ink which captures the powder that we're going to drop onto it, so that we can then heat emboss it. So this large snowflake is going to sort of go towards the top there. So my thinking is that because the sentiment's going to sort of go central towards the top, I want these bigger snowflakes to kind of frame that off. And then we'll drop another one in at the bottom as well, just to give it a bit of balance. So about there, like so. Remember, odd numbers are visually pleasing, so 3 is a good number. And hopefully you can see that there is like the moisture of the ink catches. Oh, you can just about see it, yeah. So again, so I'm using the lights that I'm using for filming there, just to shine on that so that I can see where these have got to go. So again, I'm going to try and squeeze in 3 of these guys. There. Then one up here somewhere. Okay. Just firm, even pressure. Then we've got our 3rd snowflake, which is just a smidge smaller. And what we want to do is make sure we've got like some bits hanging over the edge. It just looks a little bit more natural if you've got the edges covered. You know, like printed fabric and stuff, it all sort of, you know, it just carries on, doesn't it? It doesn't just all fit inside the piece you've just cut. So that's going to go there. And I'm just going to stick a hint of something in that corner. And what will happen is, if we sprinkle our powder over the top, we'll be able to see what we've got and decide if there's anything else that needs adding. So I'm actually using white embossing powder. You could use clear, but I really wanted a bright white finish, so I decided to use the white powder. Now, what you could do is sort of blend the cardstock or colour your cardstock however you like, and then stamp over the top and heat emboss, because it's white powder, it will go over. But I want my inking to go over those snowflakes. I just need a little brush. I'm just grabbing a brush. My inking is going to go where the snowflakes are, and of course I don't know where the snowflakes are going to end up, so I'm doing the embossing first. Okay, right, I think I'm happy with that. Okay, and then what we're going to do is put away this powder first, because it's going to end up everywhere if I don't. And then we need to heat set that layer, so that we can then add our ink to the top. Okay, so I'm going to do that off camera because it's very noisy. Okay, and I'll come back to you in a couple of ticks once that is heat set. Okay, I'll be back in a moment. Right, so here we are, and hopefully you can see that that's all nice and shiny now from that heat embossing. And now we can apply our ink. In fact, I think I'm going to unfold this a little bit so that I've got some extra room. Okay, so like I say, we're using Blushing Bride and Highland Heather. So we're going to go with the Blushing Bride ink first. Get that open. And grab a blending brush. Now, I only want a little bit of colour, so I'm just taking off the majority of that ink onto on the so I thought there was a little bit that hadn't embossed then. So I'm just going to first of all go around the edges just lightly. I'm not looking for a totally smooth blend, I'm just looking to apply some colour. And so the cardstock warps slightly when you heat it, and that sort of natural, I don't know, bumpiness, whatever you will want to call it, kind of encourages the cardstock to take the ink in a bit of a haphazard fashion, which is kind of nice. If you're a control freak, it's not, but I would just want something nice and organic. So that corner's picked up quite a lot of ink, and I'm just going to bring that into the middle slightly. Just going to touch a little bit more on there, and you can go over sections if you want to. So like I say, I want to just focus on those snowflakes a little more. Okay, so that's what I'm doing right now, just going over those. See, I haven't put any more ink on there, I'm just intensifying what's already there. And hopefully you can see from your angle that there is, you know, darker parts, and yeah, got that? Okay. then we're going to bring in some of the purple as well, just to give it some. So this is Highland Heather. Fantastic colour, very, very popular. Now, I really don't want a lot of this. And I'm going to aim for the bits that are a little bit lighter on the pink. Maybe not quite that light, but so there's little bits of something there. A little bit of something around here. More ink than you think when you're doing this kind of technique, so it's better to be cautious and then add more if you want and build up the colour. Just takes a little longer obviously, but you will get a much better result if you take it easy and build up that colour gradually. So I've got a bit of a halo in the middle there, but so the sentiment's going to go towards the top there, so that won't matter too much. As I say, I'm just going a little heavier now. Just want to intensify the centres of those a little bit, just like I did with the pink. Not go too mad. So you can add more, you can't take it away. So just take your time to build that up as much or as little as you want. I've stuck to 2 colours, but of course you could add in something else as well if you really, really wanted to. I think I'm happy with that. Okay. Don't want it too glary. That, oh, I do like that. Now that I've laid it up, I think that looks really, really cool. Okay, fab. So let's get that mucky paper out the way. Right, die cutting next. I have some vellum and I have some white cardstock. Okay, we need to stamp our sentiment. Now, I think we'll go with the Highland Heather, shall we? Keep it all sort of matchy-matchy. And the sentiment says, "May your seasons sparkle." So we'll get that stamped in place. Just there. Firm and even pressure, just hold it down for a couple of seconds and it stamps beautifully. And then we need all of our stitched So Sweetly dies. Now, will we get everything on one pass? I don't think we will. So let's do our white bits first. So our sentiment has this one. That is the 3rd one up, or 4th one down, whichever way you want to go. Sorry if my head gets in the way there, just trying to make sure that that's lined up and even on the sides. And then we want the next size up just as a plain rectangle. Okay, so that's going to be our first 2. Cutting plate on top and roll that through. nice and easy. Oops. Here we are. Oh, I do need my mucky paper again because I need to blend over that as well. And then we just need one more of those shapes cut from vellum. So that's the next size up again. So that's the second largest shape in that set. Run that through the cut and emboss machine. And that cuts absolutely beautifully, and you still get all the nice stitch detail even on the vellum. Okay, fabulous. Right, that's going on flat to the vellum, so we're just going to use some Stampin' Seal for that. And centre that inside those stitch lines. Give that a really good press. I like to go over it with my bone folder and just give that a really good press. Okay, so that element is ready, and I say we just want to apply just a smidge of ink on that. Where did I put my piece of paper? There it is, or a piece of paper, that will do. And I think we'll just pick up that, the brush I had the pink on, not inking it anymore, I'm just using the residual ink across those corners and edges. And that doesn't look like much, but you watch when I put it against that. See how it all pops out? Just the slightest bit of colour on there. And just for the heck of it, let's put a bit of the purple on as well. In that corner, on that corner. It's subtle, but it's there. There's enough of it there to make a difference. We're going to add that to that layer with some dimensionals. Okay. Get those off. Now you may have spotted, if you were keen-eyed, that there was some ribbon behind the this element on the original card. Now that was kind of an accident because for whatever reason my brain stopped working halfway through making that card, and I was going to wrap the ribbon around the back of the card. Okay, so I really like that. Isn't that lovely? It's such a different look to the blue one, the original sample, but equally beautiful. So I'm just going to bring in some of this ribbon, which is from the Flowers for Every Season set. Okay, and we're going to position that around the base layer. Okay, so we'll get some seal again. Put a couple of strips there like that. So drape that over the front. If you want to use your grid paper to make sure that's lined up, you can. I'm just going to wing it. I live dangerously. Yeah, it's near enough anyway. Okay, I'll get some seal on the rest of that to get that stuck to the card base. Line up the bottom 3 edges, and if that border is nice and even, the rest should fall into place beautifully. Give that a good sharp crease, and your 10th fold cards will not do the splits on you. Stand up beautifully. That is wonky, but not so much that it's bothering me. And then this guy can go over the top there. Okay, so that ribbon just adds a little something without being too intense. I was toying with the idea of adding a bow. Let's just tie it and see what happens. It's quite a feminine looking card, whereas the other one you could probably get away with giving to a bloke. So that was just my bunny ear method that I use, and then you can fuss and faff as much as you want to, getting loops and tails right. Pull that a little bit more, try and get it even. Oh my goodness, right, okay, let's stop. You don't want to see me faff with that for all evening, do you really? Now then, I don't know, what do you think? Do you think it needs the ribbon? It does add a little bit of femininity to it all, doesn't it? Do you know what? We're going to add it, and then if you think it doesn't need it, then you don't add it. Okay. I'm offering you some options, and I haven't stuck that sentiment down yet, have I? Nope. Right, let's do that, shall we? Just going to use some seal. Vellum and wet glue don't play very well, generally speaking, so I do like the seal is great for sticking it down as long as you can hide it, because it will show through vellum. So just something to bear in mind if you are using that. I put a glue dot on there, so that's going to be nice and secure there, and we just need to trim those ends just slightly on that side, a bit more on that side. Yeah, not quite even. Oh man. Okay. If I keep cutting away, we'll end up with no ribbon, won't I? Okay. The last and final thing then, again, something I didn't add to the other sample, were some of these beautiful little self-adhesive snowflake sequins. You get 2 sheets in the pack, and you can see there's blooming loads of them. But the one pack's got more of a sort of green and blue hue to it, whereas these have got sort of a pink purple hue, so we can get those going. We want odd numbers, so that's 3, 4, and where's the 5th one going? Over here somewhere. You don't want them in lines though, that's the thing. Right, we might have to go there. Okay, so it adds a bit of bling on there, with a really nice sort of feminine feel to it. Okay, and that's the original sample. Okay, so I think it's really incredible how just changing the colours you've used, which is on essentially the same design, really makes those look completely different. But I do hope you've enjoyed that. Like I say, it's really important that you click down there and have a look at everybody else's offerings as well on their blogs, and I'm pretty sure that most of those people will have videos too. Please do check them out. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you very much for joining me. and we'll catch up again soon. Take care, everybody. Bye.